So for assignment 6, we're going to do a pretty quick and simple assignment, and we're going to practice shading techniques using a pen. We're going to shade the outline of an animal. So the first thing I'm going to do is go into Safari, and I like llamas. So I'm going to look for the silhouette of a llama. I want to make sure I'm using a full silhouette so that you can tell what it is. Like, I like how this guy looks, but when I just trace the outside of him, you're not going to be able to see his cool face or anything about him. He's just going to look like a blob with kind of horns. The same with kind of these guys. These aren't really the right ones to pick. So I'm going to pick this guy with his silhouette right here. So I'm going to open this picture and I'm going to press and hold, and it'll bring up this dialog where I can save it to my photos. For some people this isn't working, and it's either because the picture's copyrighted or you're not pressing hard enough or holding the touch down on the iPad. But mess around with it and see if you can save as add to photos. If that doesn't work, try opening the picture and just taking a screenshot of it, and that will go to your photos, and that'll be ready when we go into Sketchbook. We're going to choose this tool that's a mountain with a plus on it. We'll use that to import our photo. Go to all photos, pick your picture. Now you need to resize the picture right now before you click done. If you wait until after you click done, then you're only zooming in on the picture. You're not actually making it any bigger. So make it bigger now before you hit done. I'm leaving a good amount of space on all sides so that I can have my shading extend out past the animal. So once I have it where I like it, I need to create a new layer, and this is where I'm going to trace my animal with my pen tool. Make sure I like the width of my pen tool and it's at 100% opacity. So on this layer, I'm just going to trace an outline of the animal. So once I have this completely shaded, I can turn the layer with the photograph off, and then I'm going to start a new layer, and on this layer is where I'm going to do all my pen shading. So you want your pen to be the same as for your outline. And you remember that we did a couple different types of shading. There was the lines that go all one direction and you make them more dense in some areas. You can use shorter lines and it makes the shading lighter in some places and denser in others. There was the stippling where there were dots. This would take forever. I would love to see if any of you try this technique. I'm going to erase that. There was the hatching and the cross hatching where you had lines that went different directions, and how many times they crossed over determined how dense the shading was. But I'm actually going to use a technique that's called scumbling. And that's where you just do squiggly lines and all kinds of shapes, and just you fill the area with a dense pattern, but the pattern just kind of goes all over the place. And you can cross over and over it to make it more dense, and you can make small little shapes on the outside where the pattern is lighter. So with my pen tool, I'm going to start going around my llama, and I'm going to do the edges first, and then I'll go and fill in the pattern wider and wider. Once I have the outside edge of my entire llama with the pattern filled in, now I'm going to go and fill in the pattern a little closer and a little denser so that I can keep all my little details around his face and all the different areas where the detail on the silhouette is a little finer. You can see that the outline is pretty good, but I want to get these fine details pretty clearly. So I'm going to go around the edges again, and I'm going to make the pattern denser and denser the closer to the llama I get. Once I've got my pattern filled in the way I want it, I can turn off the sketch layer and I can look at all my edges. I can make sure I have the details preserved around the face and the hooves the way I want them. Then I can go in with my eraser tool and I can clean up any stray marks or little mistakes that I have made here and there just to make that edge as clean and nice as I want it. And once all my details are put in place and everything is cleaned up, there you go. There is my llama silhouette done with a pen shading technique.